Hi, and welcome to Don't Just Cook. It's me again, Robert Steven Munoz. So glad you're joining me here today, and don't forget, like and subscribe to my videos so you never miss out on what I'm up to. This one was kind of spur of the moment. Got an invitation to come over to a friend's house for a little get together. He's hosting some friends from out of town. I asked, what can I bring? Something sweet, something savory. He asked for something savory. And I figured now that we're in November, and let's face it, November is another word for Foodie Month. Anybody who's a foodie, anybody who's like a home chef, a home cook, this is the time of the year where everybody comes out of their cooking closet or maybe their pantry and really tries to do something different. So I wanted to do something to kind of kick off that fall, November, Thanksgiving flavor base. So I am going to do some Thanksgiving turkey dinner ham pies. Yep, I've got my puff pastry here. I roasted up a turkey breast, sliced it really thin. I made some stuffing, and I bought this amazing goat cheese that's coated with cranberries and cinnamon. So I'm gonna layer it all together inside the pastry puff, bake it off, and I think it'll be like the perfect little like savory, bite-size, quick and easy, perfect for a party, little bite and get the season going. So I've already done some stuff on pre-camera, so we're gonna let that go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these puff pastries assembled. I have my oven heating to 400 degrees. I've got a little cookie cutter here, my egg wash, all my tools. So let's go ahead and get these turkey dinners in a pastry assembled. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's get this turkey going. So what I wanted to do is really capture the flavor of a roasted turkey. So I basically put the breast in a bowl and created like a brine. I sliced up some apples, I sliced up some onion, a little bit of garlic, doused it with lots of kosher salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper. And this is gonna really start infusing that breast meat with some flavor. To make sure it stays nice and juicy and hydrated, I'm adding in some chicken broth and a little white wine to kind of sweeten it up and give it that nice kind of warm, long roasted flavor. So we're going to get this going, give it a nice stir, make sure all the meat is submerged in those flavors, and we're going to let it rest overnight. Here it is, good and ready to go. So of course, to get that roasted turkey going, we need some butter, because like I always say, butter makes everything better. Going to use some of the onions and the apple wedges that were in that brine overnight to give a little flavor. My favorite, olive oil, drizzled on top, Costa Rica olive oil. Trust me, if you have not tried it yet, what are you waiting for? Get yourself some Costa Rica olive oil. You can get it online. You can even find it at some Whole Foods. Of course, more salt, more pepper. Going to cover this with foil, throw it in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes or so, depending on how many pounds we have, at about 375. And look at that. Golden, delicious. I did remove the foil and let it cook for a little while without the foil. Now we're going to make the stuffing. Because we're just going to be using a small amount of stuffing in these little pastry puffs, I went with kind of like an instant stuffing situation. I will say I was a little disappointed in it, so I probably would not use this brand again. Didn't really come with any seasoning, not too much, had to add my own, and I followed the recipe. Of course, I tweaked it and added to it, and it still came out a little on the dry side. So note to self on that one. We added some chicken broth and a little white wine to it because I really wanted to give it some flavor. I diced up an onion, I diced up a garlic, I added the salt and the pepper. I said, follow the instructions on the package, went a little above and beyond, and it still really didn't come out great. Thank God it's just a small portion that is going into these little, Thanksgiving bites. So I let the onions and seasoning simmer in that broth for a little while, and then I added in the breadcrumb mixture that came inside the box, and we're going to let that cook down for a little bit, make sure all the moisture is distributed, and then I went ahead and covered it to trap in some more hydration. So as we know, the puff pastries come in 2 sheets. I took it out of the freezer last night and let it finish thawing in my refrigerator. So we're going to take our first sheet, lightly dusted my surface with some flour, and then I'm just going to gently roll this first sheet out, kind of to smooth it out, get it a little ironed out, and give us a little bit more workspace. So you don't want to press this out too much, and you don't want to be too rough with it and lose those beautiful flaky layers that it's designed to give you. I got a little cutter here, so we're gonna cut these into little circles. Said we want these to be nice and bite-sized, easy to handle, perfect for a conversational event. In my opinion, you never want to serve something at a party or get together that requires 2 hands to eat, or that's a little messy. I mean, if it's a sit-down situation and it's more of a dinner party, that's fine. But if it's a social get-together and people are going to be like mingling, drinking, talking, standing up around your house in your patio or whatever, remember, keep things simple, easy, little bite-sized, keep the hands clean. People are shaking hands, saying hello, socializing. You don't want things to be too cumbersome, like chicken wings and ribs and all those kind of like drippy, messy things. Don't get me wrong, they're delicious and I love having them. But I just feel like something that's neat, clean, and easy to kind of work with off your little plate is best. So we have our first sheet of rings cut out. We're going to save this just in case. I'm going to go ahead and take some of this cheese, just a little, half of a teaspoon. Just want it on there for a little bit of flavor. This might be a little much. That's better. Just want it to have a little flavor. You don't want to overfill these so that they explode when they bake and ooze out, but you want to make sure everybody gets a little taste of everything. As like I've said in previous videos, I hate when you do pick up, a so-called pastry or meat pie or hand pie, and you bite into it and you just bite into a mouthful of the pie crust, and there's a tiny little portion of the filling in the middle, and you're like, oh, that was delicious, wish there was more of it. So it's all about creating that perfect balance. And believe it or not, I picked up this goat cheese. So it's the brand is Roth. It's gluten-free. It's a goat cheese with cranberry and cinnamon. I picked this up at Walmart. I don't know if you noticed, there's a little section in Walmart, usually near the delis. And just like every other retailer, depending on the demographics and who does the ordering for that location, some have a better selection than others. But in the deli area, between like the bakery and the deli, they have a refrigerator case that's filled with some amazing imported cheeses and meats and yummy little items. So next time you're in Walmart or you're planning a party, don't forget to check that out. So now we're going to take some of these pieces of turkey and smash that down in there. Nice little thin slice. Again, you want everybody to have a biteful, and then be like, oh my God, this is a turkey bite. Smells good. And for this, I just used the turkey breast tenderloin that you can get already cut and prepackaged. There's no skin, no bones to deal with on it. So it makes it super easy. Season it how you like it, bake it, and you're done. Now I'm gonna go grab that stuffing. Voila. This is also a great little something to do with your holiday dinner party leftovers. You know, there's always a little bit of stuffing left over. There's a little bit of cranberry sauce left over. There's some turkey and or ham left over, or whatever meat your family dines on for the holidays. You can just, whatever leftovers you have, even mashed potatoes, you can pop that into these. And that's what makes these packaged puff pastry sheets so versatile, from sweet to savory treats. They're so easy to use, and knock on wood, they've never given me a problem. I've always had great turnouts from them. Isn't that great? Just a little bite of turkey, a little bite of cranberry. That goat cheese is going to give a nice, little warm flavor to it all. This is going to pair great with wine and cocktails. I'm making my own mouthwater as I'm describing it to you. So I apologize if I'm making your mouthwater and you're just home cuddled up on the couch watching my video. There's our first layer, and now we're going to top them with our second layer of cutout rings. Okay, before we put our tops on, we're going to take a little bit of our egg wash. I like to beat an egg with a little bit of milk. It's a little stickier. Then we're going to go around the edges of the bottom. Get a little bit around the edge of the bottom because you want to make sure the tops and the bottom stick together. Doesn't have to be too much, just enough to create a little bit of a seal. There we go. Now we can pull these out a little bit, lay it on top, and then we're going to smash down the edges. And you don't want to overwork this dough. You don't want to ruin that beautiful flakiness that it's designed to give you. So there we go. We have our little pockets of goodness, and just giving it an additional little pinch on the sides to make sure everything stays closed in. We're going to put these on our lined cookie sheet. We have our oven preheating to 400 degrees. And then what we're also going to want to do is we're going to take a little knife, put a little sliver in the top, because you want that steam to be able to escape, or not everything's going to explode. We're also going to brush the tops of these with a little bit of an egg wash, and top with a little bit of herbs. Again, I like for people to know what they're getting. So I feel like a little bit of a herby topping will let them know that this is a savory treat and not a sweet treat. So I'm going to finish these up, get those into the oven, and guess what? They're only going to take about 15 minutes to cook. So let me speed things up here for you. Okay, look how cute they are. They are ready to go into the oven. They said only about 15 minutes until they get nice and golden brown and puff up beautifully. Well, would you take a look at that? This is how they came out of the oven. They smell amazing. They look so cute. Perfect little bite-sized little somethings. Let's give one a try, shall we? Oh my God. So good. The buttery, flaky puff pastry adds to that whole experience. You can taste a little bit of everything. It's like your memories in a little pocket of goodness. Well, I gotta get ready and get off to this party, especially while these are still warm. So thanks again for joining me here on Don't Just Cook. Don't forget to like, subscribe, send me a comment, give me some of your tips and tricks on how you embrace the holidays and get ready for this wonderful foodie time of the year. So remember, until next time, don't just cook. Dale. Mm.